This equation shows us how the average customer rating influences the total income from different products. And the X here is the average customer rating. So it seems like the income goes up based on every increase in the average customer rating, and it goes up by 44. So if the average customer rating goes up by 1, the estimated increase goes up by 44. So this is my equation, and we're looking at the amount of plastic, billions of pounds that we're producing every year after 1985. So we start off with this amount, and we go up by this many billions of pounds every single year. So it's not total, it's increase per year. Which one says increase per year? Average increase per year. D. So this means that when x is 2, y is equal to 64. So in other words, when we plug in 2 for hours, 64 is the remaining miles. So 2 hours after the start, 64 miles remaining. This equation is giving you the price per pound of oranges at a grocery store. It started off at this amount and it increased by this much every single month. So they're looking for the interpretation of the slope, which is how much it increased per month. So I'm looking for words like rate of change or average price per month. C. So we're looking at this phase diagram where at different temperatures and different pressures we have different minerals forming. This equation is of the boundary line between these two regions. So if you think about x and y intercepts, the x-intercept is when y is 0, and the y-intercept is when x is 0. So the t-intercept is when p is equal to 0. So that's actually going to be this point over here. C and D are looking rather slopish, so those are no good. I like this one because it says when there's no pressure applied, and pressure is 0 here. I don't think this is the maximum temperature. We could go higher, so B is the right answer. So this is the equation about profits from an event, selling different types of tickets minus the cost, so it's a profit equation. And they asked specifically about this one. So let's look at X, that is for member tickets. So if they're charging 20 and it costs $12.50, that tells you their profit per member ticket. Not the cost, it's the increase in profit. So C. D is wrong because it's important we have that for every one sold. It's the slope, it's the rate of change. This is our equation for the price to tile a square floor. L is the length of one side of the floor, so it looks like it's a square. And 16 is the only other item. That's the cost in dollars per square foot, 16, because L squared tells us the area. So this chart shows the average housing cost divided by the national average housing cost at different population densities. That's what this x-axis is here. It's different population densities of several U.S. cities. So if this is my equation, what does 61 mean? That means when x is 0, so there's a population density that's very, very low, and then we have never below or likely at least 61%. So the line of best fit is a prediction. We can't really guarantee that they were never below a certain amount, but it's pretty likely that they were at least 61. If this is our equation for recycling aluminum and paper, 60p tells you how much they got paid for recycling paper, and it appears to be $60 per ton. So it's not the total weight, it's not the amount they're paid per ton, it's the total amount that they're paid for p tons. This is our formula to estimate height of an adult male based on the length of their femur. So if their femur is 0, then this is their height, and then we multiply their femur by this. And every inch that their femur is longer, they are 1.88 inches taller. So if you think about rise over run, the increase in height is on top, and the 1 inch increase in femur length is on the bottom. That matches best with D. If this is our equation for blood pressure, as in x is the number of years old, what happens when x goes up by 1? Well, the pressure is going to increase by 1/2, because we plug that in here, and you can split this into x over 2 plus 220 over 2 if you wanted to, or x over 2 plus 110. So our slope is 1/2. We made an initial deposit, which is this much, and then every week we deposited a fixed amount, which is this much, because the every week amount is the slope and the one-time deposit is the intercept. So 15 is the initial deposit.